Okay, Patrick, what do you want to see in the future of Godot?
Oh, there's so many things I want to see. Um, I really like where it is right now. I think Godot's in a really good spot,
I know
but
we've
I
been saying
think
a lot of we just want stability, but like let's talk features that we would like.
features. Okay, I would really want a class-based JSON serializer.
Oh, okay, you that's on my list too.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
we both want that.
Okay,
It,
class-based JSON serializer. And what we mean by this is the current built-in JSON serializer for Godot is doesn't exactly work with custom classes or resources.
yeah. Well, and also just using the dictionary system is kind of annoying and a pain in general,
Yeah. No, it
and it
definitely
doesn't
is.
it doesn't serialize everything in order because it's a dictionary. So you get things in random orders, and obviously you shouldn't be focused on the order in JSON, but
Yeah.
still, it's just kind of annoying.
Okay, their
Uh,
dictionaries are actually in order.
really,
Godot's? Yes, Godot implemented them in order.
when I did my JSON serializer video, it always everything came out of order
Okay.
when I serialized it back.
Yeah, when I was doing some JSON serializer, I looked into that, and yeah, it's in order.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a new update because back in the day, it definitely gave me things out of order, and that made me sad.
Yeah. But like there are plugins to handle this. Is
Yeah,
you sent me one that you were excited about a little while ago?
yeah, and I'll probably do a video on it. Actually, I kind of want to do a video on all of them this week, or find a bunch of them, and then like compare like their performance, their features, and like find the best
Yes, it's
Jason suit.
I've been incredibly busy, and then I'm leaving this week as
Yes,
well. So
and my computer just sort of came back. It's overheating right now. They broke the CPU cooler, so I got a new one.
yeah, okay, better JSON serializer or class based. I want
Yeah.
an improved physics matrix.
Ooh, okay.
We've
Yes.
talked about this a lot already, but
Yeah.
it's still a problem, and it sucks that Godot has such a big opinion on who knows what collided with what.
Yeah.
Like it's not,
It's very
yeah.
weird
I don't
when
know.
player bodies. Yeah.
I don't think it would be that much to improve the signaling, and because you're just firing one extra function, right?
Yeah.
Or
Because well, sometimes I think it fires on both, and then other times it just fires on one,
yeah,
and then certain certain things can't collide with each other.
yeah. It's just
It's
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 annoying
a
to deal
mess.
with. Uh,
Yeah.
we've talked about that one a ton. So
So much.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your next one?
Um. This one's actually related. I would like better tile map physics
Better tile map
because
physics. Okay, I've not messed with tile maps almost at all. So
because
why is
what
this?
I've experienced is I haven't been able to find a way to make area tiles,
Yeah.
and that's something I liked doing in Unity for like spikes or something. If you ran into them, that your character was able to pass into them a bit
Oh yeah, yeah.
rather than standing on top. That they would specifically hit the tile and collide. And also, just recently found out too that um each tile has its own physics body in Godot rather than them merging into one for a chunk.
Yeah.
And so that, like, performance
Oh
wise,
right,
that
that
would
was
be a
in the
huge game.
update that they were like we're changing this a little
Yeah,
bit.
they're adding that to the 4.5, and I'm so happy.
Or no, that was to 4.4. They did that in the
No,
4.4 that they changed that, right?
no, that was 4.5. There,
Oh.
that was in the So I actually went through a bunch of the milestones for 4.5, and yeah, that's one of them, and it's completed. It's done. That
Uh,
will be in the 4.5 update. They said they'll push some of the updates back to 4.4, but that
oh,
was a
okay, yeah.
4.5 update. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mine this
Yeah, what
isn't
about
exactly
you?
engine. better C# documentation.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of this is because we do our videos first in C# generally, sometimes. Less so lately, just because we've noticed,
GD's
I've
more
at least
popular.
GD's more popular, and I've noticed C# people and GD script people want very different things.
Yes.
And so I've just been giving them different things. So, but C# documentation is sparse, and so oftentimes you're looking through a bunch of stuff just to find some very basic things. And we've been asked, where do you get your C# stuff? Because the Godot documentation isn't good enough. And all we have to say is you have to transcribe it from GD script. You have to learn
Yeah,
GD script to properly do C#.
and we're experienced enough with Unity and everything that that's not a super big deal for us to do. But I
Exactly.
could understand somebody who's newer or not as comfortable with the programming, how that would be a big ask.
Yeah, and so I think that's currently the one place I think a lot of the documentation's missing right now is a lot of C#
Yeah,
implementation.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, my next one,
Yeah.
and this one's also going to be in 4.5, or at least
Oh,
it's supposed to be.
okay.
Better nav mesh performance.
Better nav mesh performance. Okay.
They-
Uh,
They're
it
rewriting their nav system,
uh,
which makes me so happy.
again, wow, because they rewrote it for
Oh,
4, I think.
no, yeah, and then they rewrote it for 4.4, and so they're in the process of fixing everything. So right now, from my understanding of the Git commits, the nav mesh is on the main thread.
Yeah.
Like all the navigation's handled on the main thread. In 4.5, they're moving that to a separate thread,
Oh, okay, that's so much better. I didn't realize it
right?
was all in the one thread.
Yeah. So I hope that they not only move it off the thread. I don't know if that's confirmed in 4.5. That's in the milestones, so it may not make it. It may make it. Um, but also I'd like the option to have it on the main thread if you need it. Kind of
Yeah.
like the HTTP request node, where you can have it on both, just in case, if you've got your server running in an AWS environment and you only want to run it on one thread or whatever, that could be beneficial.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you definitely want it on a separate thread, almost always.
Yeah. No, that is
So what about
absolutely
you?
a good move. And thing is, I did the nav mesh, one of the nav meshes. You did the other one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
got a lot of comments of people who were very confused and it wasn't doing super well for them. So that's good. It needs to be fixed. So
Like I said, I ran into so many issues with hole punching in the nav mesh.
yeah,
So I feel like that system in general just needs a little bit of help. And it seems like it's getting it, and they're very aware of that, which makes me very, very happy.
that is good. Okay. My next one. Modularity for pre-built nodes.
Ooh, yes.
This is what
That's a
I
good
thought
one.
of, and I was like, yes, I want this. Okay, so here's what I mean. Is a lot of Godot's nodes, like you can attach a script to them and modify them through that, but you can't exactly go through what they have below and see what they've done. And so it's just like, for example, in an item list,
Yeah.
it's hard to change a lot of things.
Well, you don't have access to all the item nodes that it creates in the item
Exactly.
list.
And
Yeah, okay.
and so I
I like
would
that.
really love, and this is make it closer to Unity. This is Unity dev saying, "Hey, make Godot closer to Unity," but because this is exactly what Unity does. But
Hmm.
I think this would be a very handy feature, and the reason I think they might not do it is because it's going to make it a little more complicated for the newer users, and Godot is targeted at newer programmers, right?
Exactly. Well, I think Godot kind of has like the two camps, and I've mentioned this before, of the super new who they just want the basic item list and they're good, and then they target the super advanced who are like, I will write it
I
myself.
will roll my own because I was going to roll my own engine already. So
Yeah. Whereas I don't think there's a whole lot for that middle ground of those people who are like, I don't want to write the whole thing myself, but I also don't want to deal with the constraints. I want a little more control. I want to do a little bit more.
yeah.
Because like even with their multiplayer, you've got enet, which is a fairly low level solution to like you're
It-
not
It's
directly interfacing with the sockets, but it's pretty low level.
it's pretty low level.
And then you've got just other things where it hands you the complete product like the item list, where it's like enet super low level, item list super high level,
Yeah. And
and
there's
you
not
just
really
kind of
much
have
in
this
between.
gap.
And so
Yeah.
here's what I'm asking. If you added more modularity and so you could go through the item list nodes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
then that would just take that would make devs just be able to modify it and kind of take the Godot feel out of Godot games without having to build
Yes.
so many of the systems of themselves.
Yeah, because I find with Unity components, oftentimes you can tweak them forever, and you can make it feel like how you want. Whereas the Godot ones, oftentimes you just can't,
Yeah.
and you kind of just got to go. Okay, well, this has to be written fresh from scratch if I want slightly different functionality here. Like if I want to have the item number label in a slightly different spot, okay, I guess I got to rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah. And so that would be on my wish list for 4.5. I don't think we're going to get it. I don't think Godot's set up for it right now. So, I think
No,
that's a lot of work and a
I think that might be a Godot 5 feature.
yeah, that might be a Godot 5, but that would be a wish list thing. All
Yeah.
right, your next one.
Okay. Going back to Nav.
Oh, we're back. We're
uh,
back.
this is also going to be in 4.5. They're adding a navigation area 3D, which is so nice because then you can detect when something enters the area. Super nice. And
Yeah.
they're also adding a cost map
What's a
to the
cost map?
navigation.
Oh,
So,
how
say,
okay, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, how expensive it is. So, say
Yeah.
if one path goes up a hill and another path goes around the hill, it will factor in that it's going uphill and that's going to take more energy.
Oh, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah,
That's a really good
that's such
idea.
that's such a nice feature, and I'm super looking forward to that in
Uh
4.5.
okay, so this
I
is a feature
think we
coming
should
into
probably
4.5.
yeah, that's a feature coming into 4.5. I
Okay.
don't know if it's confirmed yet. It's in the milestones, and not everything in the milestones makes it, depending on the status of the commit.
Okay. How do I write this? Navigation area 3D navigation mesh. Or no, how
And
do I write?
cost map.
I'll just write cost map nav.
Yeah.
Because this is hard to describe. Okay, but that is a really good idea. I like that a lot.
I kind of want to do a tutorial on how to do that when it comes out.
Yeah, but
I
that's
think
gonna be
that'd be
like
a good
6 months.
one.
But that is a good tutorial. That go on the list, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more. I want better Blender implementation. I want
Ooh,
direct
yeah.
Blender implementation. Okay, I saw this plugin.
Yes.
I think on a social media platform. I don't remember which. It may have been Reddit, may have been Twitter or something. But to
Hmm.
see someone modifying their level in Blender and then seeing it appear in Godot immediately, that would just be
Yeah.
a better workflow.
Just a
Because
beautiful workflow.
Godot's 3D tools aren't as good as Unity's. To build out
No, they're
levels, to
not.
even block out levels, it's a lot harder. So, that,
Yeah, generally speaking, you're not going to want to use a standard Unity terrain for a big game. But yeah, like using the height map terrain in Unity is super nice to block out a level super quick.
exactly. And so, I think don't even bother trying to implement that into Godot. Just steal blenders. Just integrate
Exactly.
it with Blender. And the problem is, well, actually, the Blender Foundation are currently actually making a game in Godot with Blender.
Hmm.
So I'm very excited that these two organizations seem to be very buddy buddy right now.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they continue to tie their programs closer together,
Yeah,
integrate them more.
But that is something that I would really love to see in the future. Built into the engine, not like a plugin. Although if someone does a plugin, I'll use it. So
Yeah,
just say it.
that's true.
Okay,
I would too.
go ahead.
Okay, mine is also on the same vein of 3D actually.
Okay.
Higher level shader support
Higher level
for the
shader
code.
support.
So Ace Roll is building his own, but I would like to have that supported natively in the engine. Right
Yes.
now, the shader, like we said, is there's not much of that middle ground. There's the very beginner, there's the visual shader graph kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then there's the super advanced, the very low level shader code.
Well,
And
you
there's
can go
not
from
much of that
shader
middle.
graph, or I forget what it's called, but then you
Yeah,
have Godot shaders below that, Godot shading
yeah,
language, and then you have GLSL direct. So
yeah,
it's a bit nuts. So sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, you've just got the very beginner stuff, and then you've got the very advanced stuff, and
Yeah,
I just feel like they need that middle ground. So I would like to have them give us some higher level shader code support.
I would think that's a
I
great
don't think that's
idea.
in 4. I don't think that's in 4.5. I really don't,
No.
but it would be
Do
nice.
you think there's a chance they just implement Ace Rolas, just put it into the engine?
I think there's a world where they definitely think about it, especially if it gets popular.
Yeah. I really wanted to do a tutorial on that. It's just the
As
time
it
right now.
progresses, yeah,
Yeah.
both of us time
It's just
and
time right now.
computers not working.
Okay. What is mine?
What about you? Yeah,
Hmm. Okay, this one's gonna be weird. Or sorry,
hit me
lower
with
level.
it.
I need to change it. Lower level, not higher level. Shader support less. Or I guess yes, actually higher, little lower. Um.
Yeah,
Okay, this one's
middle.
gonna be a weird one. Higher level networking integration.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, this one is what I thought a lot about because I was thinking, do you really want higher level networking integration? I think because this is marketed as a beginner engine, yes. Holy crap, yes. Like for me, I
Well,
probably wouldn't use it the most, and except for maybe quick thrown together projects.
yeah.
But I think for a lot of the Godot community, I think they would get a lot of benefits out of it.
Oh, definitely. Well, and there's a whole lot of room for higher level from ENET to Mir.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess would be my range is Mir is the higher level in Unity, and I dislike it. But then Forge is higher. Forge is what I specialized in Unity.
Yeah,
Forge is higher level than ENET, but it's a lot lower level than Mir.
yeah,
So I would like something probably more like Mir and then have access to ENET. Which once again kind of you lose that middle ground, but I think right now they need that low that super high level.
yeah. And I think that's just because it's for the community, and I think I would. Here's the thing: Unreal's has incredibly high level networking
Yeah.
integration, and they just get a ton of online games. And because online games generally pop off harder, you're gonna see more Unreal games.
Yeah. And
It's
same with Godot. If you add proper high level networking support, you'll see a lot more big Godot games.
and so I think that's just for the benefit of Godot to just implement that. Again, I might not use it as much. You would not want to make an MMORPG in it. But
Yeah.
could you make like an Among Us clone or something in it? Pretty easily.
Very quickly.
Yes, and
Yes.
I think that would be fantastic for the community. And I think you could just
Hmm.
see a lot of the online creativity flourish because I feel like online games are kind of in a stale state right now, at least.
Well, depends on which online games you're looking at, I guess. But yeah,
That's true. That's true.
specifically MMOs are stale, as we've
MMOs
talked
are
about.
stale, but a lot of the Unreal games I find are also stale just
Oh,
because
Unreal games,
Unreal
yeah.
really forces you to a type of gameplay. And I think Godot is less. uh,
Yeah.
Godot, I think a lot of the devs I've seen have made a lot of platformers, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's forced into that.
Hmm.
But That's my weird one. Is I want higher level networking integration,
Yeah, it kind of goes against what we've been saying. We've been saying mid-level, mid-level, mid-level this
and
whole
I'm like,
time, and
no,
now we're
go
like
high.
high level.
But I just think that'd be beneficial to the community.
I agree. I think the community needs that, and most people don't need super weird, advanced, low-level networking solutions. Let's be perfectly honest here.
Yeah, like most people aren't gonna make MMOs. Most people are gonna make like a client authoritative mini game or something.
Or something that forces you to do server authority. Like
Yeah,
kind of mere really pushes you in the direction of server authority only.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
that's something I would want. Okay, go
Well, and
ahead.
then there's things like
Oh, go.
do
Oh, we
you
have
need
got it.
to re-roll auth every time? Because Enet, they don't have an auth thing set up, so you'd have to write your auth every time.
Yeah,
Whereas if that's just have something for it.
yeah.
Easy, done.
But that was
That
that was
that's your
some
rant.
that was just that was my rant because I spent so much time thinking about that one. I was like, ah, that'd be nice because it
Yeah.
would also be nice to be able to just throw together a project.
Yes.
And thing is, there are some like I've seen Mirage, but it's the barrier for entry is weird. So I never wanted to do a tutorial because you need to do a tutorial to just install it. So
Oh no.
it's just it wasn't worth it. So I'd like to just see a higher level networking integration. But
Well, and already I don't like mirror.
exactly. So there you go. You got one more?
Yeah, I've got a couple more.
Yeah, I do too. So we're
Okay. Yeah. So mine is better visualizations for the camera and particle effects. I think right now the gizmo for the camera doesn't exactly show where it's looking. Like because Unity, you have the camera, and you can when you click on it, you can see what the camera sees. But then it's also got the lines drawn about where everything that'll fit in the camera.
yeah.
Whereas Godot just kind of has a static little icon that shows you where the camera is, and it doesn't really show you at all what it's going to be seeing
Yeah.
or a way to peer through the camera. They are adding a way to peer through the camera in the inspector. I think it's going to be in 4.5. That's super nice. That's done,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Okay, so this is
Um,
better
this is
visualization for camera, but
yeah,
particle effects
and
is something you wanna.
yeah, particle effects from what I've seen, they don't really show you what they're like in the editor. You kind of have to
Oh,
start up the game and then watch them and then close it and then tweak them and then start up the game.
yeah, you do. And I haven't
And
messed with particle effects too much, but yeah, that was a problem.
yeah, and this is another thing that's coming in 4.5. They're adding them to play in the editor.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
this is
something I'm
this is
super
coming
happy
too.
about. This is coming.
Okay.
Both of these are coming in some ways, but I would also like the actual camera to have the lines drawn like in Unity to show you what it's seeing, even if you're not looking through the little camera view.
Yeah.
But that's a little addition from me.
Yeah. But the main thing's coming, so that's
Yeah.
great.
Hmm.
No, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Okay. My
What
last one's a
about you?
nitpick. My last one's a nitpick.
Okay, hit me with it.
I would like maybe this is a dumb one. I think their stack tracing I could be presented a little bit better.
Ooh, yeah. And
This is a very nitpicky one.
yeah, I agree though.
But when you run into errors, I don't like how they present their stack tracing errors.
Well, and if you're using VS Code, I don't know if it's the same in the code editor, but like if you click on the error, it doesn't take you to the line of code. You got to be like,
Yeah,
oh, line 266, and then you got to go over to VS Code and scroll to line 266.
it does in the built-in editor. So like when I'm doing
Oh,
GD
okay.
script, I just use the built-in one.
Yeah, I've started doing that when I'm working on the networking series because it's just in GD script, which is nice. But
Yeah.
that is a little quality of life improvement I think for us VS Code
Yeah,
lovers
it
out
is,
there.
but I don't even know how. Like, this is just it's such a weird complaint for me
Yeah,
about stack tracing. I just would like it presented a little bit better. Working in Unity versus working in Godot, I find it easier to find out where the bugs are because I find Godot doesn't take you. Godot doesn't give you the last line of where it ran into the error. It gives you like a middle one half the time, or a C++
y-
one,
yeah,
and like
which is super random.
which is super random. Whereas Unity, it's just there immediately every time. It was just nicer for me, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely think that that could use work.
Yeah,
Okay, now for my last one, I would like them to add a proper get component system. I think they could
yeah.
definitely do that.
Well, you did
I
that.
exactly, but I
So,
think they could do it in GDScript too.
yeah,
I think they could have a proper get component, and then you're not reliant on the string names and everything.
yeah.
Because if a dev or whatever changes a name, then that sucks. That's just cool. Some scripts are going to break, especially if you're a new dev. That is going to make you very non-modular with your scenes.
Yes.
A proper get component system, I like it.
I think
I've
that'd be
said this so many
fantastic.
times.
Yeah,
And I think it's doable. I think the
I think
more I
it's also
use the GD
faster.
script, yeah, I think it's more performant and it's just better in just about probably every way.
Yeah.
It makes better code, more performant.
Oh, okay.
It-
Let's maybe assume they don't know Unity. Get component
yeah,
is a way of getting classes that are attached, like that are kind of
yeah.
just below or that are attached to a game object in Unity. And the
So
closest
it'd
thing
be
in
like getting a
Godot,
node.
yeah, is
Yeah.
get node, which
Hmm.
looks at the nodes below and finds nodes of a specific name. Whereas get
Yeah.
like the problem is get node, you also have to then parse it into that type of node you want because it's just going to return a node.
Well, you can put the type of node you want it to return, but I think you still have to pass in the name. Whereas get
Yeah.
component, you don't pass in any string at all. You just say, here's this game object, get the first component of this type.
Yeah.
And so it'll just go through the components underneath it. So it'd be like the nodes directly under the node you passed in and say, okay, is this a image? No. Is this an image? No. Is this an image? Yes. Okay, return that one.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, oh, well, my image is named sprite feet or something like that.
Yeah, and
And then
so I
scrolling
got to
through
just
and going compare to sprite feet.
yeah. It's just a lot nicer. All right,
Yeah.
that's all we have for this episode. Thank you guys so much
Thank you very much.
for
I
watching.
hope you found this interesting.
Yeah, I
This
hope it
is a
was
mix.
interesting.
This
It's
is
weird, I guess.
yes, but this is a mix of things that are coming in Godot 4.5 and also further out.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah,
Have a good one,
thank you very much
guys.
for watching. Bye.